What's good, everybody? This your boy D Money. We on another episode of the A Lott Of Fashion podcast. And what we going to tap into today is the business of perception. And primarily what we've been talking about on this series in season 2 is building a product from nothing. So make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and make sure you comment your opinions and thoughts in the chat as well too. So we're gonna get right into it. Primary thing here is that with perception, it influences the customer behavior, influences, your audience to make, different decisions associated with your brand. People respond to how businesses present themselves. And it's almost, well, it's not even almost, it's just like, how you present yourself. And, the way that you do that is number one, by branding, that shapes trust. Professional presentation increases credibility. Your first impressions, whether it be at, business to business meetings or business to customer, experiences, pretty much are setting yourself up for, success or failure within those first impressions. And, how you present yourself, ultimately tells, individuals whether they want to, associate with you or not. So, consistency affects that perception. Being on time, showing up to places, prepared, ready, and, ready to work. Then on top of that, having a clear vision in mind, not only for yourself, but your brand and, the work that you plan on doing with different individuals as well too. Strong branding creates confidence, not only for yourself, but those that decide to end up working with you as well too. Number 2 is position matters. Businesses that communicate value clearly ultimately are the ones that are successful long term. You know what I'm saying? Once you have, a clear call to action, clear, messages, you sound like a, expert within your content, based off of, what you're focused in on. You don't necessarily got to be an expert at, the whole niche or the whole industry, but just understanding the things that you're presenting to your client and customer and having a clear message of communication with them with that builds trust, and it ultimately matters in, the buying process. Confused posting weakens, that growth. So just posting random videos that don't associate with the brand message, vision, goals, is gonna, end up hurting, your brand. And if you are continuous with it, it will, help the brand to die off. Strong position attracts customers. So you can't be doing no weird shit with your brand unless it's some weird shit that actually aligns with your brand. Number 3 is reputation is currency. You gotta build trust, because trust affects opportunities that come with your brand. Consistency shapes reputation. So once you're more consistent with putting out a solid message with your brand, a solid story, authentic story with your brand, and all your content, your products, even, the services and events that you might host with your brand, they all are shaped around the overall message, which, later builds reputation within the marketplace, and also, just with potential collaborations and sponsorships as well too. Public perception impacts growth. Visibly, through word of mouth, customer experiences, even online. So it's just a matter of understanding that everything that you're doing has a purpose, and when you move with intent, then it will impact growth for your business on a consistent basis. Sometimes it may seem slow in the beginning, But the more that you do it, the more that you're consistent with it, and the more that, you know what I'm saying, you don't post distracting messages within the, framework of what you're doing, then the more that you'll see drastic growth as well too. So, like I always say, come up with a solid plan, do the research, and execute that motherfucker, and your dreams and goals will come to fruition. Keep visualizing. Make sure you check out the From the Mud collection, which is on our website. We also got the spoken word album For the Vibes on all streaming platforms. And we also got, the poetry book available on all book platforms and even at your local library. So keep visualizing. I'm out. Thank you guys for watching another episode of A Lott of Fashion. We appreciate you guys for liking and subscribing and also staying tuned through the whole episode. Make sure that you take these business gems and start visualizing your purpose. I am out.